In this short video, we will be figuring out how to create data tables using Google Sheets. So since I'm using Google Sheets, the first thing I'm going to do is hop into my Drive, click New, and open up a new Google Sheet. And again, as always, good practice is to name it right away. So I'm going to say Practice Tables since we're doing some tables here. All right, so when you're setting up some data tables on Google Sheets, there's a couple things you want to keep in mind. Keep in mind you always have independent variables, an independent variable, and you have dependent variables. And your independent variable is what you are changing. What you are changing. So you're in control of that. Your dependent variable is going to be the data that you are collecting to see if what you're changing actually matters. So I really like to think about dependent variable and data. They both start with D's. Independent, I am the one that's in charge. So I am in charge. It's the independent variable. Okay, so let's say that we are trying to figure out if the type of milk has any effect on food color spread when we add detergent to that milk. So my independent variable, the thing that I am changing, is going to be the type of milk. So I'm going to go ahead and put type of milk up top first. So type of milk, my independent variable is generally in most data tables going to go in the left column. So let's just pick some types of milk. So maybe I'm using oat milk and maybe I'm using whole milk and let's say 1% and 2%. If I had more, I could put more in there as well. So the data I'm going to collect is going to be my dependent variable. And in this case, I'm going to just see how far my food coloring spreads when I touch the detergent to the food coloring that's on each of those types of milk. So I'm just going to measure that. I'm going to measure like the circumference. So I'm going to actually go ahead because I just realized I'm going to add another row here. So I'm going to right click on row 1. I'm going to say insert row above because I want to have some trials. I'm going to do a couple different trials because you should always do more than one trial, obviously, in an experiment. So I'm going to do trial 1, trial 2, trial 3, but I also want to make sure that it's really clear in my data table like what I'm actually going to be writing in here. So I'm going to take the circumference. So I'm going to go ahead and say, select these 3 cells, I'm going to merge, and then I'm going to title this circumference. We'll call it circumference of spread. And I'm going to add my units up here just so we are clear on what the units are. I'm going to do this in centimeters. So now that I'm kind of thinking about it, I think I also want to get maybe an average. So I'm going to put average over here as well. So I need to make my merge to cells a little bit bigger. So I'm going to highlight these 2 things. I'm going to merge here. Okay, so I'm kind of picky and I like everything to be centered. So I'm going to highlight my whole data table and I'm going to go ahead and center it, and I'm going to add some lines in too, just so I can kind of keep track of where everything is. I also think I'm going to highlight this this row right here just to kind of separate it. So I'm going to select what I want and then I'm just going to make it, I shall make it purple. Okay. So now I'm ready to actually collect data. So let's say I'm collecting my data. I'm just going to add some kind of fake data in here. So let's say my first trial with oat milk, it goes 1 centimeter, and my second it goes 4, and my last one goes 3. And I'm not going to do anything with average. So I've gone ahead and added all my data in at this point, and now I actually want to figure out the average, and I can make Google Sheets do this for me. So anytime I want to have Google Sheets do a formula, I'm going to click into the cell I want. So I'm going to put my average for oat milk right here, and I'm going to click up here to this bar, and I'm going to write equal. And that equal sign automatically tells Google Sheets, hey, there's a formula coming up. And look at this, it already kind of knows what it wants my formula. It's anticipating what my formula is going to be. And I do want to take the average of B3 through D3. So I'm going to click on that. And then I'm just going to press enter, and it goes ahead and takes it. And it's even asking if I want to autofill. So I would say yes normally. However, today I'm just going to show you one other trick. Let's say I forgot to say yes, but I still want this formula down in all these cells. I can click on my cell. This is my formula, and I can grab this little blue dot. I can drag it down, and it's automatically going to carry the formula down through all my other cells. And now I've got this great data table, not only showing my raw data from my experiments, but also my average.